we went through conducting training, and Harold used to have something called registration. And, we spend so much time as conductors, not only, and probably all musicians, to understand the music, but also understand how to execute it. Now, you've seen some pretty significant conductors and orchestras in your day. Do you have anything you'd speak to how people use their personality or the character, or what have you seen over the years? Because we started with somebody who taught a very structured way of understanding that motion, but now you've seen it in real life. What do you got? Any perspectives?
You put your finger on one of the, and Harold did, obviously, because he was working with us on it. Is yes, that metric balance, which is, I find that I also have to do that as a recording producer. You have to be able to focus at once on the short term, little detail, but you also have to have the big picture of the whole piece. And so when you think of pulse and density and meter and those kinds of things, you have the minutia of this bar, this bar, this bar, this rhythm, this pulse kind of thing. But also the entire piece has an architecture and a kind of a breathing. It has a pulse that underlies everything that's happening in the piece. And so a conductor and a producer have to be able to comprehend both of those aspects of a piece. It's this, and this, but it's also, I think one of the things I've observed in listening to conductors and orchestras and watching what the conductors are doing is almost all the conductors that I see manage to be more economical in their physical gestures than we were when we were young, and we thought it was all very active and very big. There's a greater sense of economy in veteran conductors, because I think they've absorbed and they've learned how to convey both the immediate necessary information for the immediate thing that's happening in the music, but they also are managing that underlying pulse and that underlying inhalation, exhalation, the bigger density and cycle of the architecture of the piece. What I find I have to do in producing a recording is you've got to be able to zero in on the immediate thing, but also know where that little immediate thing fits in everything else that's going on.
And that's why retakes and multiple takes sometimes can work and sometimes can backfire, right? Because
both as a conductor and as a producer, when you ask an orchestra, for instance, to play something again, sometimes you have to give them details. You have to say, clarinet at letter B, this is sharp. Give the list of little details that need to be fixed. And sometimes you simply have to say, let's do that again. Because one of the other things I think I've learned is that there are no secrets on the stage. Everybody in the orchestra knows what's happening. They hear what's happening. And there are times when you don't have to point anything out. People know what needs to be addressed. But there are times when you just have to give them another chance. So again, sometimes you give them the detail and sometimes you just give them another chance. Say, let's do that again. And everybody just knows what to do. And the conductor can help make that possible, but it's really only because everybody in the orchestra really knows what they need to do. So it's just that, again, that instantaneous switch from the detail to the big picture.
Said as somebody who's seen it many times, right? Yeah.
Yep.